Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Nick's Wellness Report. Tonight's a very special night. And in fact, it's a bit of a celebration. And we have Patricia on here. And she was the person, if you remember, that was taking a large dose of insulin, had really high numbers. She went hypoglycemic on us. We got worried. And she has some amazing news. She went to her doctor Friday. And I'm going to let her not spoil the surprise for you. But anyway, Patricia, are you here?
I'm here. Hello to all.
So, what happened? Tell me the story.
Well, I went to the doctor with my numbers. He likes to see all your charts and numbers. And he took me off all of my diabetic drugs and cut the rest of my drugs in half. So I'm not on any insulin, not on any metformin. It's easy now.
How long have you been on metformin for?
At least 17 years.
Oh, my God.
They made a lot of money off of me.
Well, I'm not looking at it like that, but, normally they tell people when they start on that, they never get off of it. Did they tell you that?
Yes. They told me that diabetes is incurable and that you just have to learn to live with it. And, they sent me to a nutritionist who told me to eat pretty much what your nutritionist told you, oats and that kind of stuff. And it just never worked and got steadily worse and worse and worse. And I was worried that they were going to put me on 6 pills of metformin a day. So, but instead, we're off.
Congratulations, folks. She is now in the stage of withdrawing from the meds with her doctor, which is the only way you should do this. And she complained, my doctor is very cautious. He's very slow, is what Patricia said to me. He said, that's his job description. He's supposed to be skeptical. He is supposed to take it slow. But listen, how many units of insulin were you taking a day?
I was taking 70 of the slow-acting and close to 70 of the fast-acting.
How many injections a day?
5.
So you've been injection free for how long?
Oh, it's been 3.5, almost 4 weeks now.
And the metformin since Friday.
Yes.
It'll take a while for your body to settle down with that, by the way. That?
Right, but they cut the metformin in half like 3 weeks ago, and just took me off of it last week completely. So.
Wow. What are the pills you off of, or have you reduced?
All the rest of them are reduced. I take one for high blood pressure, one for hyperlipidemia, cholesterol, that kind of thing. And a couple of vitamins, those haven't been cut in half, though.
All right, so what's happening is the cholesterol medicine and that kind of stuff's now been cut down.
Right.
How are you feeling?
I feel fabulous.
Did I understand right? You're going to start taking golfing lessons?
Yes, I'm going to take those, and they start second week of July. And my gout hasn't flared up in almost 8 months, but I've only been with you 3 months. So, and I walked about a mile today. So, and I haven't walked a mile in ages. So.
How many pounds have you lost in total now?
I have lost 58 pounds.
Wow. Are you hungry? You got to be hungry once in a while, huh?
Yeah, occasionally, but only when you took away my cheese. But now I have it back, so now I'm okay.
Test.
Yes.
I'm the food guy. We test everything, and then we retest. You see,
yes.
What do you have with you? A lot of the foods that were taken away will come back in as your body gets functioning correctly again. We see that with everybody. In other words, some foods that at first you can't have, we got to cut them out because the numbers go high. When we retest, that's why this testing is so important and why it's a lengthy process. because when you test again, for some reason the body recovers and those foods can come back in. How do you like that?
I think that's great.
When I first tested, I could not eat a pizza. I can have one slice of a cheese pizza without any meat toppings. When I first tested, I could not have French fries. I have French fries back in my diet. I have found now a couple breads I can have. How do you like that one? Now, we were making, maybe you can get that point. I found a German baker who, one of these really fastidious guys, and he brings his flour in from Germany, okay? And he doesn't like American flour, he says, and doesn't like the stuff in Europe, and he only German flour, so he brings in rye and the heavy grains. Yeah, very typical German. If it's not from Germany, it's not worth having. He's got a German car, he's got a German wife, he's got a German accent. What are you doing here? I think it's part of the forward invasion again. Anyway, a friend of mine put me in touch with.
You are not politically correct,
And he sent me his German rye, which I've tried, and a German black bread. That black, it's actually black bread, heavy crust, and 2 slices, about 35 grams. And I toasted it. I did a half a slice, I did a slice to 2 slices, and you know what I had?
No, tell me.
A real tuna sandwich. 2 whole pieces of bread with 100 grams of tuna. I was in heaven.
Oh
my God. Yeah. So I'm not sure, but I'll hook you up with the this breads. Evidently, there's some kind of, I don't know, you're talking about the weather's cold and it's better grain and it's not GMO and we're not going to.
It's German, therefore it's perfect. Yes, I understand.
By the way. Dennis found a bakery that made the same stuff, and he's able to eat it, and he was really sensitive. And I got 4 or 5 other people testing it. The Johnny cakes seem to work with baking powder. And tomorrow I'm testing for the first time waffles made with summer break, and we're having waffles. So
cool.
She said, Dad, are you sure you can have them? So it's amazing. Amazing. She saw me eat the sandwich. So you are feeling better. You've lost.
I've lost you.
Nick, you're kind of coming in and out on us. Can you check your connection, please? Patricia, I'm showing he may have dropped out. Give us just a second.
I got a message. I'm back. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, the audio connection. I got to notice the audio connection went down. Okay, the question was, how are you?
Nick, it happened again.
All right, I'm having connection problems. You're hearing me. Let me. Now, hello.
Yeah, we've got you again.
I lost the link. How do you like that? That's the second time this week that's happened. All right, so you got me back full time now, all the way?
It seems okay, yeah.
I hear you.
Good. Fine. My question was, at one time you were having a lot of trouble sleeping. How's that? What's going on with that now?
Well, everything is fine now. When I first moved to the farm, which was almost 13 years ago, I would wake up every night at 3:30 and think it was some noise on the farm that woke me up. And it turned out to be the low blood sugar that you found with this 24-hour monitoring thing. And then I slept through the night really well. And now my husband gets up really early to go to the gym and wakes me up every morning. So, so I'm getting up at 5 instead of 7, but the house is clean and apparently he's happier having me up. So
Well,
it's a husband thing, I'm sure.
hey, tell me the shrimp story. I think people would like to hear about your 2 experiments with shrimp.
Oh, that was amazing. So I have eaten shrimp virtually my whole life. Never had a bit of problem with it. You know, it's protein. How bad can it be? And my friend owns a shrimp boat, and every year he sends me a bunch of shrimp frozen through the mail. And I got it and I ate it, and my blood sugar went just through the roof. I mean, just amazingly high. And Nick said, well, we need to test this. It's probably the shrimp. And I'll let Nick tell that part of the story, but basically they douse all the seafood in sodium bisulfate, and that's apparently what pushes me up. We tested his shrimp, and now we tested shrimp without sodium bisulfate, and I have no problems with shrimp. So it's just kind of funny. I had a problem with cottage cheese and tried 3 different brands till we found one that was good, that didn't push me over the edge.
Yeah, I've had to go with every cheese. Well, let me tell you a quick story. My family for many years was in the seafood business, okay? And an uncle had a plant, and I got stuck with it. So anyway, I was serving my prison sentence in the plant. And what happened was I drove up to his dock on the yacht, and it was like, oh, glad you're here. I'm having trouble with you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, got sucked into it. So anyway, so we're in the shrimp business. We have in the inside the factory a laboratory, because it was HOSIP approved and imported to the United States for very strict standards. And we would test. And we found with the test strips that the shrimp boats would put a lot of bisodium sulfate on the shrimp to preserve it. And we had a process where we'd have to wash and soak the shrimp to get it out of it and to what was a safe level. So we wanted to sell. We were selling with Walmart and all the food chains. And we had Whole Foods was taking our lobster tails. We tested the shrimp, and we couldn't bring the shrimp into them because of bisodium sulfate. So that's when I became aware of it, that once it's dipped in it, you can't get it all out. And it's only organic farms. We also had, by the way, shrimp farms, and those shrimp wouldn't pass either. It's just because the shrimp farm shrimp are very prone to get disease and sickness, and so they have a lot of antibiotics in it. So anyway, you have to be very careful about shrimp. Even if they tell you it's bisodium sulfate free, it's usually not, and it's hard to get it. And that Whole Foods is really a blessing. So many people cannot tolerate it. I don't know what it is about that stuff. It's just nasty. They even use it sometimes in lettuce to preserve it, by the way.
Oh.
So you go to a salad bar, you're eating healthy. Yeah. That could be some of the things you have to be very. Restaurant eating is a real adventure. It's very difficult to do. A lot of times the restaurant doesn't know what's inside the food they're sourcing. Remember, unfortunately, a lot of the nasty stuff they can call flavoring, and they don't have to put it on the package. We were just talking before about turkey. A lot of times turkey is flavor enhanced with monosodium glutamate. They do self-basting, and they squirt it. Self-basting means they squirt a bunch of nasty oil in there, usually tropical, and people have trouble with it. So you got to be very, very careful. The food labeling is a disaster. We don't know what's in the food supply. Like I said, all they have to do is call for it. I'll tell you a story. We had a corned beef, packaged corned beef, and in the nutrient label it shows no sugar. It shows you like registers like a meat. And ate it, and the sugar went sky high. And we tested it and found out that indeed there was sugar in it, and contacted the manufacturer. They said, no, we don't use sugar. We use dextrose as a flavor enhancement. And that's what they're doing. We put another form of sugar in there. Did not put it on the labeling. And I said, well, listen, but you should be showing sugar on the ingredients package. He goes, oh, we're going to update our labeling, that kind of stuff. So you just, whatever they say in the package, you can't trust it. I've been fighting the hot dog wars, and the differences between brand to brand, and even I call hot dog mystery food. Why bother? It's everything north of the asshole. It's just I'm sorry, it really is. It's terrible stuff. Okay, you scrape the floor and put it in there, and then they homogenize it and they blend it and grind it. Why bother? Get a real piece of meat. I guess more and more as I'm testing more and more people, we're going crazy with sausage. Because they just, or even I had one guy with a hamburger, and I said, well, we'll go to your butcher. And I said, are you buying the hamburger prepackaged? He goes, yeah. I said, why don't you go to the butcher, pick a piece of meat, and have him put it through the hamburger machine. And we tested it, and the hamburger was fine. We had no problem with it. But the fillers they put in it, so it's a real disaster out there. Well, you've had your ordeals with ice cream and other things that, you thought were from reputable companies or not.
Right.
Ice cream is this time of year. I have a big problem with ice cream this time of year. It's it says it's a natural ice cream, and it's not. And basically, the only safe ice creams I found was Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's, or homemade. You had tell us the ice cream story.
Well, I bought Breyers, which has no GMOs and no bovine antibiotics, and thinking I was serving my family something good. And, it pushes you up to 300 blood sugar. And so then you convinced me to have Haagen-Dazs one day for breakfast to test it, because my blood sugar was in the appropriate range to test. And I couldn't believe it. I just knew I was going to be up over 300 within 30 minutes. And, I stayed at like 125. I mean, it was amazing. So my children know they can eat anything they want from the freezer except Mom's Haagen-Dazs. So I buy them their own flavor of Haagen-Dazs, but the vanilla is all mine. So
I have found no one that cannot eat vanilla or coffee ice cream. Everyone tests fine with it. It's amazing. And I'll tell you, the big one right now that's driving me crazy with many people is the soft serve.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Everyone does a moonshot. Everyone. They just cannot eat because soft serve ice cream is not ice cream. It is all kinds of fillers and gluten. I mean, it's a chemistry lab in there. And a lot of it's made from a powder. There was these stores buy this powder mix. If they're trying to make a higher price quality one, they mix milk with it. If not, they mix water with it. It's gluten, it's all kinds of gums, and it's all kind of powders, and it's terrible stuff. None of it tests well. It's just, what we're doing is we're killing the population, because even people that are healthy, they're still spiking with the sugar. We can test people that don't have a weight problem. We can test people that, don't have, the blood sugar levels are normal to go to the doctor. And then all of a sudden you test them and they're eating this crazy food like this soft serve ice cream. They're going crazy. Another one I'm having trouble with is pork sausages. I'll tell you another one that's driving me crazy with people is go to the pizza place, get a slice, eat a reasonable portion of pizza, cheese, topping, no problem. Put the sausage toppings on it, and everyone does a moonshot on it. Because, again, they're flavored. Everyone has trouble with pizza topping. The meat ones, from Domino's, Pizza Hut, no matter who they're going to, Papa John's, all these pork sausages are, I'll tell you what the problem is. The way they're curing the salt is they're using a super sugar. It's an enhanced cornstarch. Cornstarch is another way for corn sugar. And what they do is they pressure it, and it cuts down the processing time. And it's a way of curing both bacon and ham, and everyone reacts to it. So we're just the more processing they do to the food, the more trouble we're having. We can send somebody who goes to the butcher, and they ask them to get you pork loin and grind it, and now take it home and season it, make patties out of it, and fry it, and here's your pork patty for the breakfast, and they all have a good one. It's just incredible. Turkey's another one. Depending upon, and it's not labeled, by the way. Turkey is a problem in that a lot of these companies, especially if you're buying just a turkey breast, are processing it. And I'll tell you what it is. We used to say this in our business when we were selling our seafood products. The three food groups are salt, sugar, and fat. And what's happening is they're doing super salt, which is your monosodium glutamate. They're doing a super sugar, which is your cornstarch modified sugars, and they're doing these super fats, okay, which is these glutens and those kind of things. And the combination of these super fats, super salts, and super sugar make people crave the product. And what they've discovered is that, by the saltier you make it, the sweeter you make it, the fatter you make it, the more you sell. That's the secret to bacon. People crave the fat in it. And so then they add a sugar curing to the bacon, and then they add a monosodium glutamate and flavor enhancers, and now they get the perfect food group. And it really, really, really is horrible for most everyone who tries to eat it. And it's the same thing with the bakers. The bakers have their yeast delivered in a 10,000-gallon tank, like a tank that delivers gasoline, a big silo there. And then they have the gluten, they have the flour. And the process pumps it into the pan, and it starts rising as soon as the super yeast, super gluten, super flour meets. And that means that they cut the rising time into a fraction. They produce a problem. The problem is that this bread spikes everyone. They're going into these super processing for cheeses now. They're doing this super processing for beer, where they can make the beer faster. Wines, they're doing a super processing. And it's all about cutting down on the time it takes for the fermenting process, whether it's rising the bread or getting the alcohol in the beer or turning the grape juice to wine. And by these enhanced yeast, enhanced sugars, they can process much, much faster and time's money. Same thing with the cheeses. Anytime I test an enhanced cheese product, trouble. Anytime the beer enhanced, trouble. Wines. And if you go to the ones that are the old style brewed and the old style baked, we're discovering that it doesn't happen. It's just amazing. So what I'm saying is that your diet is look, you had extremely high sugar levels, okay? You were taking a lot of insulin. You were taking a lot of medicine. And you were not getting better. You were getting sicker, if we're talking straight, right?
Yes.
The quality of life dropping on you. So the only way we can handle it from a diet standpoint is take everything out of your diet to put you in the red zone, period. Brutal. Don't take any chances. Be brutal on what you can eat, okay? Then get the body healed, get you off the medicines, get your doctor to approve it, and then we start building back up, okay? So you're now past the ugly stage. You just came off of a very powerful medicine, the Metaform. You got to let your body settle down with that, and then we'll start testing back again what you can have. So the first phase is get you healthy. You can't have all those insulin, slow acting, fast acting, and then you go too low, and now we got to take you into a recovery and get your sugar back. And I mean, your doctor was horrified when he saw that, right? You didn't even know. Without the technology, there's no way of knowing. Okay, listen. It's easy to badmouth the doctors, but the fact of the matter is I have not had one doctor with anyone that's argued with us or fought with our numbers. Not one. Everyone's saying, hey, great, keep it up. I'm glad you're on this guy. We're being very careful to make sure people go to their doctors on the meds. The doctors say, well, and honestly, the doctors, the technology did not exist where they knew on a mass scale what was happening in your body, and we're taking, as you know, a reading of you every 5 minutes.
Right.
Doing that. I mean, can you imagine pinpricking yourself that many times? It was impossible. So, and the other question is, when you're sleeping, what do? You wake the person up. So there's no way of knowing. Now that glucose monitoring has become a system, now that we have our algorithms and internally know how people are reacting to it and know how to make the food things and the test, the secrets, we know how to test you. Now all of a sudden it's a great breakthrough. And without this, you've been a prisoner of this all your life, and and I know it would have ended up badly for you. I mean, if we're talking straight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I'm dropping below 40, that's the near-death experience.
You must be one. I don't know how you survived that.
I used to wake up, I'd sit on the side of the bed and wasn't thinking clear enough to even test my finger. So I would just roll over and go back to sleep and wake up 2 hours later and think, oh, I have a headache. I should probably test my sugar. So.
Well, then you have the fog. That happens the other side when you start tingling when your sugar goes high, right? Remember that?
Well, I tingled when I get fog when I get high and tingle when I get low. And when my lips start tingling, I know I'm in my 40s. That's how low and how often it went there. I mean, it was frightening.
See, the problem is all this calculation, because you got the rule book, right? The problem is all the foods are different, and how they react is different. There's no way of knowing. Let me tell you the biggest thing I found. There is no way of knowing the proper insulin dose because there's no way of knowing what's in the food and no way of knowing how much sugar you're taking out of it. Okay, how much glucose it's putting in the system. So basically, your calculation was how much glucose you were taking and how much insulin you had to put in to counteract it. Well, the problem was you didn't know the amount. So you had to put more and more and more. And then the problem is you're taking too much glucose out of the system. And then, as it goes on, normally during sleeping, you're going low. I've seen this pattern over and over again. It's a roller coaster ride. Well, now that we're monitoring all the time, we go, no, here, look. When you're in the blue, have a carb. When you're a little bit high, have something that's carb rich. Now what's happening is you're adjusting your food to what your readings are on a constant basis. And by you doing that, then your doctor's taking you off no more injections. And now he's taking off the metformin because what's happening is you're controlling it by not letting your sugar go too high. And you're controlling it by not letting it go low by monitoring and adjusting your foods to what works for you. Now the fun starts. See, now that we're off the medicine and you settle down, your numbers come back in line, now we'll start testing more foods, okay, and discover, I promise we'll find breads that you can eat again. The bacon and pork for you is going to be a problem always. Restaurant's going to be a problem for you. I mean, we have to talk serious here. That's just going to be. I have a guy who eats out because he has a nighttime job, okay, and he asked me to work out a menu for him so we can test what he can eat. So we're on our way on that project now and contacting the restaurant, finding out what they're putting in the food, and seeing what we can establish. Eggs are safe as an eat-out food, okay. The breads are notoriously bad. Steak is okay, but as you experience, if they tenderize it, you're dead meat. See, what they do is they get a lower grade meat. And then what they do is they put the tenderizer in it, monosodium glutamate and other stuff, and then they can sell it as a higher grade meat. It was one of the sins of the industry. So you have to get non-tenderized food. A lot of times the restaurant doesn't know what's going on with their supplier and the stuff. So it's a real problem. And Japanese and Chinese food is almost always a no-no. They love monosodium glutamate. By the way, the Chinese have the highest rate of diabetes in the world, and it's because of processed pork, because monosodium glutamate is in everything they make. They just put it in there. They call it salt. They don't even know what it is, okay? They just love it. So we're going to have to fight that. So the restaurants are a problem. But what you'll find is mainly the coarse, what we call the coarse grain breads. I think we're going to find breads that are going to work for you.
Okay.
Nice. And I think we'll also find pancakes. We're experimenting now with pancake recipes. They're using baking powder that work, and I'm experimenting with waffles and come up with a solution there. Did you try the Johnny cakes?
No, not yet, because the weekend I was going to do it was when he took me off the metformin, and my body was like whacked out. So I haven't tried that yet. But it's hanging on the recipes on my refrigerator.
The Johnny cakes are working well with most everybody. Okay, I'm not seeing any. Yeah, we started putting that out, and now we're going to try to go with the. It seems like if you can substitute the baking powder for the yeast and the right flour, it's working. Anyway, well, I thank you. It's good talking to you. You had great news. Absolutely. You're basically chemical free, aren't you, from the diabetic medicines? Oh my God.
Oh yes, and I'm very happy. And it's I couldn't have done it without you. So
that's why you keep me around. I got to do something to make it worthwhile.
Who would bother you if it wasn't for me, huh?
We have.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. It's brought a lot of joy to my heart and a lot of satisfaction to see what this journey has been for you. And I really, folks, don't let her kid you. She's worked very hard and very scrupulous at testing, and really fought. You fought for this tooth and nail. You wanted it very badly. You deserve every bit of the success you're having, and I congratulate you. You did good. Well, if you know anyone that's got a weight problem, if you know anyone that's diabetic, give it a shot. So far, we've got no failures. Of course, we haven't gone to hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands of people yet. But so far, everybody is seeing good numbers. We're learning a lot as we continue testing. Our testing has been in the hundreds and hundreds of people, not in the thousands of people. Anyone who wants to try it, call us. It's a 1,000,000% money back guarantee. In 90 days, if you're not having any success or you don't want to just want to give it up, I'll be glad to give your money back. I don't want anybody unhappy. But there's one understanding and one caveat. This is a team effort. We're your dietitians. We are not your doctors. I don't want to hear this negative, my doctor's no good. That is not true. If you're not happy with the doctor, we'll find you a doctor. But this has got to be done if you're on medicine under your doctor's supervision. I have not had one doctor anywhere in the world, and it's including Europe and the United States, that doesn't embrace it, that doesn't like it. We have doctors sending us patients. We give them huge amounts of data. Okay, every week you get 3 different spreadsheets, 4 spreadsheets now that show every entry, every number, every food, every reading. And now the doctor looks and says, "Oh, let's see what's going on at night." They never knew. They never had a way of knowing what was going on because the data wasn't available. So this is the brand new world with these data loggers we have. By the way, as you get a reading on your data logger, we're instantaneously into our computers on the network. And it's a fantastic monitoring situation. And now we have a huge database of information that we know how to test and what sequences. We can compare what results we have. It's amazing, though. One size fits all doesn't happen. Everybody's different. But it is really worth it to change your life. I'll tell you something, a couple things that are surprising to me. We got people like Patricia that comes, and they fight for this, and they want it, and they're on top of it, and they're doing it. And then we heard a case of a man who's a very wealthy man, and he's eating at McDonald's every day, and they say he's getting sicker and sicker, and they're giving up on him. His weight's out of control. So is his sugar, and somebody approached him, and he didn't want to do it. Like I've had 2 or 3 cases of really sick people that are at the stage where we're talking gangrene in the toes, wheelchair bound, that kind of thing, and they don't even want to try it. So I don't know what that phenomenon is, but if you're there in that category, you have nothing to lose. This is a diet program, not weird stuff, not stuff from the imported from a banana boat in a glass jar. This is foods at your grocery store. This is very simple food choices. We try to make it fun, and it's worth a try to change your life. And we'd be glad to help you, and we'd be glad to work with your doctor, which is the only way you can do this. If you're on a lot of meds, we're not doctors. We don't examine you, okay? You've got a doctor that knows your case. He's got your file. He's got your numbers. Doctors the bill, and if you're sick, you're sick. Your doctor didn't make you sick. Adjust dosages downward. Work with you on diet. We want to work with you on data logging your information. We want to work with you on giving you fantastic spreadsheets that your doctor can see what's going on for the first time. Every single doctor goes, "Wow, I like the numbers, keep it up." Everyone that we've gone to has had their medicines reduced. We're having a great success. So I encourage you to come with us and let you put us through this program. We really know what we're doing. We really know what we're doing on diets. We really, really know how to. So anyway, that's the world we're in now. I appreciate it. We're going to put this on the website tomorrow. We're trying to do a show every Tuesday and Thursday, and I've decided that rather than just give a whole load of bullshit, I thought I'd let you hear with real people. By the way, all these people are real people. We have their names on file. They're telling their story without interruption, as you're seeing. It's true, and it's real. Okay, as versus the people that have a big fat guy in a pair of pants and it's a weightlifter that says, "Look, 3 weeks I did it." This is real people. These are real success stories. These are real interviews. We're bringing people that have been in the program for a while. We're bringing new people to tell you the experience, and it's real. And in fact, it's amazing. Never in my wildest dreams did I think this would go this way. Okay, I want to say that to you. We started this thing, and I was really sick. You may know that, and really sick. And I was desperate, and no one could tell me what was wrong because no one knew. And that science is in me, the Renaissance man in me. I'm an analyst. I really know how to analyze things. I really, really know. look at data. And I approached this as a data analytical problem, and I did it my way, and found the technology and found the resources and made it work. And then I did it for some friends, and then friends of friends and neighbors, and now it's Nick's Wellness, and we have a whole lot of people doing it, and I'm proud to make this contribution. It was what it's all about. It's not about the money. It's about, listen, you can't talk to someone like Patricia and not, really be impressed by what she's been through and what she's done, and not really. I'm very proud to have a small part of it, but you have to do it. You have to help yourself. But we can give you a new way of approaching it. But you got to pick it up and you got to embrace it, okay? You don't have to be a prisoner of the weight problem, okay? No, you didn't eat too much. No, you're not a fat pig. I went through all that, okay? No. I'm really not eating that much. No. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, bran flakes. Well, the sugar's going to 250. I'm going to put on the weight, okay? Control the glucose in the blood. And I'll tell you what my experience is. If we control the glucose and keep it in what is normally accepted ranges, people lose weight naturally. If we continue on that and get all the red out, that's all the high sugar foods, and then we start balancing it where the blood glucose is not going high, not going low, but staying correctly, we have found that for a lot of people, cholesterol goes down. A lot of people, blood pressure goes down. And we're finding that it's not just the diabetic problem, but high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And all of a sudden, the doctors are seeing the numbers. They're doing the blood test. Look, we've been told all our lives that you can control cholesterol with diet. We just didn't know what the diet was. We were told all our lives we could control weight with diet. We just didn't know what the right diet was. The problem was that the one-size-fit-all diet just didn't work. And I'm telling you, a huge number of foods they told me I could eat really are a disaster for me. And I've been on every kind of diet pyramid and dietitian there was. Now, that's all changed. So before you have your last hurrah, I can help you break out of your prison. And we'd be proud to do it. So call us. We'd be proud to give you 100% money back guarantee. You really worried about the money? Really? Let's get, I mean, what would a dying man pay for another month of life, okay? What is it worth it for you to be healthy? What is it worth it for you to be, she walked a mile. How do you like that? This lady's come a long way, and there are a lot of people like her. She was really very ill. She was very, very ill. She had a severe case, but she wanted this bad. She kept calling us and emailing us when we're going to start, And I said, this lady has spirit, and she's been richly rewarded. Now, it's not a bed of roses. It's a lot of testing. It's a lot of figuring out. But you are the final inspector for the food that goes in your body. You are the last person on the assembly line, okay? You are the one that's going to suffer the consequences or suffer the rewards. I really want to help you, and I really want you to let us try it. You got nothing to lose but your misery, and maybe you can change your life. These are all real people on all these interviews, all real experiences, all on the exact same program of controlling your sugar through your diet. And go to your doctor, show him the numbers, adjust your medicines. You may find you have a miracle. You know what? It's not a miracle. The body is an amazing machine, and you got to get in touch with it and give the body what it needs, and then all of a sudden good things happen. Anyway, it's my pleasure, and we'll see you again on Tuesday with our next interview. Thank you much for coming. Bye-bye.